think what's important also too is to remember that some mistakes are more catastrophic than others. They carry more damage and more weight than others.
Are all sins created equal though? Almost.
I think sin, all sin is sin, but some sin are more catastrophic in damage.
Okay.
Right? And so I think here's the way I approach this, right? Because I've made mistakes, I've sinned, I've fallen, I've messed up. There is a man that is very popular in Christian culture who's one of the most preached people in the scriptures. Is a man named David. David was blessed with God with favor, wealth, prestige, all the things, right? Up in the palace. There's a season in his life when he's a little bit older, he doesn't go out to war. And he sees a beautiful woman who belongs to another man, takes that woman for himself, commits adultery, commits murder. The Lord has to confront him about that, right? Here's the powerful thing about this though, bro, and this is powerful. Now watch where I'm going with this. Everybody talks about David's sin, his murder, and his adultery. Yet David is the most quoted person in the New Testament from the Old Testament. When Jesus comes, he calls himself a son of David. And so he's not afraid to be identified with David. But why? Because when people mistake, God is not only looking at the mistake that people make when they make mistakes, he's looking at the heart of the person. He's looking at the remorse of the person. And so I think there's some people who we call making mistakes, they just have terrible character, bro. And then there's some people who make mistakes who have godly character. And so when people make mistakes, when I've made mistakes, when people make mistakes, I think what God is looking at is the heart of the person. He's looking at the character of the person. There are two men that will make mistakes. One makes a ton of mistakes because they have terrible character. And so it's a lifestyle that they live of sin and evil and debauchery. There's another man who loves God with all of his heart, but makes a mistake. And God can forgive, and God can restore, and God can raise up. And we need that story. Because there are people watching right now, bro. There are people watching right now who feel like because of some season from the past, some mistake that they made, God is done with them. God can't use them. God is mad. And so we gotta have stories of redemption. We gotta have stories in Christendom where people who have made mistakes and have bounced back from mistakes, and we've seen God bless them on the backside of that. And so I teach people all the time, your mistakes will do two things. They will either be a coffin or a classroom. We're all gonna make mistakes, but how we respond to it determine our character.